my ZSH. Sasa says, this is the best way to spend Saturday. Until you did. I feel you. Thank you for that. All right. To get this set up initially, Amoraj, thank you for the donation. He says, can you teach ML and data science projects too? I sure can with the help of my friend Leon. So I will plug him. Definitely check out Leon Clone's channel. Right. But there you go. We've got 4 icons popping up. Now, what I want to do is I want this div to style it out in the way that we need it. So I need it looking like that. Right, so on this div, I'm going to go ahead and type in class name. And this is going to be a flexbox container. Okay. This is going to be a flex row container. I'm going to do this before and then change up a bunch of things later. Items should be centered.
Hello there.
Okay.
Hello.
Now, what I want to do as well is I need to make these eventually smaller. I don't know if I'm using one here. There we go. Okay. So there we go. So you see how that's on the top left right now, okay? The next thing I want to do is I'm going to have the contact me section, and then we're going to go ahead and style it out and so forth, right? But we'll even do motion at that point, frame of motion, okay? So I'm going to pop in the div, and now what I want to do is I'm going to have a social icon for email. And I've already done this one for us, and I've actually added an extension where we've got a cursor pointer. So if I click save now, you can see my cursor is a pointer, which is nice, and this is actually going to be an email icon, okay? So I'll just stupidly zoom in for some reason. Okay. ALS Journey says, can I watch this live later on because I have to go? Yes, you can, dude. It's going to be up on the channel afterwards. Do not worry. All right. And then next to this, I'm going to have a P tag. And this one is going to say get in touch. Okay. Feel free to customize the text. Whatever you want is up to you. Now here I'm going to have a class name and I want to have it uppercase. And on a small screen, I'm going to hide it. Now, what I want you to understand is on TL and CSS, everything that I write, all of the classes that I'm going to write are mobile first, which means that if I write a class such as hidden, you see on a mobile, that text is hidden. As I get bigger and I hit certain breakpoints, then we can say that other utility classes can come into effect. Okay, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and see this, right? Nearly 500 people are watching my live. Thank you. Wow, guys. I'm going to keep the content going. Okay, this is incredible, right? So at this point, we've got that, right? So in this case, it's going to be hidden on mobile, right? That's what I want. I want it to be hidden on mobile. So I hit save, it's gone, right? Now, how do I say after a certain breakpoint, I want the CSS to kind of come into play? So what we can do, thank you, man.
Hello there.
So on a medium screen, we've got medium, we've got small, we've got extra large. The way you say it is on a medium screen upwards, I want to go ahead and have an inline flex. Basically, I want it to show afterwards in a flex fashion, okay? Then I'm going to say text should be small. I want to have the text to be gray of 400, okay? So a shade of 400. There we go. Now you can go ahead and see that. And as you can see, as it gets bigger, the comes in after a medium breakpoint. So that's what classified as a medium screen. There you go. Right? Oh, look at this. It goes, love the info code. I'm the first time here. Welcome to the Papa Fam, my dude. Right, so in this case, looking pretty decent so far, right? So I'm going to go ahead and also center these icons. So that way the text is centered. So I'm going to say flex should be in a row. I'm going to center the icons. So that way, in case you add anything afterwards, it's going to go so there. Text 300. I want it to be a cursor pointer over the overall thing. Okay, so now you can see over the overall div, I have a customer. Now, the only problem here is they're stacked up because naturally 2 divs next to each other is an inline, right? 2 divs next to each other is a block element, right? They're block element by style. Their styling is blocked by default. Everywhere today. Now, what I do want to do is I want it to stick to the top. You see that? It's got this nice kind of stick effect. So what I'm going to show you how to do now is sticky. We say sticky, and then you can go ahead and say top 0. This means it will actually attach to the top. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say flex, and then I'm going to say items start, right? And as you can see now, sorry, I've actually messed up one. Item start. Okay, now you can see flex puts everything in a row by default. The way that we go ahead and say how do you position yourself between each other, we say justify. And now I'm going to say put space between the 2 children. As I do it, it's going to calculate the exact space between the 2 children. Now, you can see that looks ugly. Right? That's way too big. Whereas in here, we've got some kind of max width constraint. So I'm going to show you how to implement the max width. So here, all you need to do is max width. And we're going to use the default 7XL. And you can see what it translates to by hovering over like so, right? So now, if I go ahead and do it, you can see it's got a max width constraint, but it's not in the middle, right? Which is kind of annoying. So at this point, what we can do is we can say MX Auto to automatically apply margins on the left and right axis. And that will go ahead and center you out like so, okay? So really, really nice stuff. Next thing that we want to do is give this a Z value of 20 because it's going to be layered above all the other things. So Z value of 20, you can give it higher if you really want. It's completely up to you. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make it so that the items are starting on the mobile, but on a medium or extra large screen and above, I want to center the items. So items should be centered like so. So now what you see is as we get smaller, let's go ahead and see how this works.
Help me!
Okay, so there we go. Wow. The only problem is we haven't got any padding, right? So padding is the final little piece there. So here I need to go ahead and say padding of 5. And the reason why I did this, guys, is because previously I had different designs, but I'm going to leave them there. Okay, so there you go. Right, really nice. Look at that. We've got that nice little padding. Padding is the key to making things look clean. Trust me when I say that. Padding is actually going to be that little icing on the cake that you're looking for in most cases. Trust me. Right? So that's looking pretty good. Right, now what I want to do is I want to animate that. I want it to look way more funky than it is. So if I refresh my portfolio page, you can see I get this nice little animation. Right? How the hell do I do that? How do I get animations in my app? So the way we do animations is we're going to use Framer Motion. Right? So Framer Motion is an amazing production-ready animation library for React. Okay, Ibrahim, thank you so much for sharing.
That's amazing.
Useful. I'm going to click read the documentation like so, and the first thing we're going to do is actually install this thing. Right, so how the hell do you install it? We go to introduction, and we should have a intro for installing this somewhere. Well, I'm trying to show you where the heck it is because I've already done it. Okay, never mind. Let's just go ahead and just jump into it, I guess. Alright, so in this case, I'm just going to install it myself. So I'm going to do yarn add framer motion. I'm going to show you right now. Let's pop this out of the way. So Command J, free terminal, yarn add framer motion. Okay, there we go. Annie says, hey, Say, I landed my second internship a week ago. Thank you so much. Thank you, that's incredible. Green says, no, Mela says, can you upload it afterwards? Yes, it's going to be uploaded. All my lives go straight up on YouTube afterwards by default, okay? So, it's a one-shot take, right? So in this case, we've got that up. So we've got frame motion in there. So I'm going to show you just how to use it. So first thing you need to do is you need to install the motion object from Framer Motion. Now I'm not going to go into the documentation too much. I'm just going to show you how it works, okay? So where we have a normal div, when we're using Framer Motion, the way we do it is we go ahead and say motion.div, right? So motion.div. And you can see that my closing bracket also changed. Now in Framer Motion, there's so many ways of animating things on your page. But typically the way it would work is to have an initial value. So where does the X positioning should be initially before the animation triggers? Or where should Y be? Or what should the opacity be before I trigger an animation? Then you tend to have an animate. And the animate is basically where do I want my animation to eventually reach? So should I be going from an initial opacity of 0 to an animated opacity of 1? So that way it animates nicely between the two. X value, and then another X value, so it animates between the two, so forth, okay? So that's how we're going to essentially do this. So here I'm going to have an initial value, so initial, and this takes an object inside of it. So notice the two curly brackets. Here I'm going to say it's actually going to start off with a minus value of 500. Vido says it's a magnificent video. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. Right. Also, the opacity is going to be 0. The reason being is because I want the opacity to start off 0, right? And I'm also going to do scale, and you're going to see the nice little effect that's going to happen there, right? So scale is going to be half initially. Right? So this should be then what do we want to animate to? Okay, so in this case I'm going to say animate, I'm going to pass in an object, and here I'm going to say X should basically go to its basically default position. So it should be X of 0, right? The opacity should become 1, and I want to make the scale become its regular size. Thank you so much for the donation, Senpai. Amazing content. I appreciate it, brother. And guys, just like that, 600 likes already. What is happening? Thank you, guys. Let's hit 1,000 today. Come on, let's hit 1,000. This is the energy we're after. I cannot believe the retention. I'm going to keep dropping videos every week if this is the case. All right, let's hit save right now. Now, what I want you to see is, whoa, did you see that? Look at this. If I hit refresh, bam, super fast. Look at that. All right, now it's kind of too fast, if anything. I need to kind of be a bit slower because it's kind of phasing me out, right? So in this case, what we can do is we're going to say transition. This is the next magic thing, right? Transition. And what I want you to do here is put an object. I did like their object. I'm going to put duration, okay? Now, duration, I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be in seconds. So here I'm going to say 1.5 seconds. Now let's see how that is. Refresh.
Hello there.
Ooh, that's clean, guys. What do you think? I really like that. I think that looks really good. right? So that is immediately a win for me, right? So now you can see that's exactly how it's actually going to come in here. Beautiful, right? So slick. So if you don't know about frame of motion, destroy that like button because I'm changing your life here. I swear, I promise you, okay? Right, the second one we're going to do is this one. So again, motion.give, so very simple to use. And then we're going to do an initial state. This initial state is going to be essentially the same, but it's going to be the opposite direction. So rather than going minus 500, we're going to go 500 in the right direction, which means forward, okay? So there you go. And I agree with you, it's way better than the kind of boring CSS animations you do regular JavaScript, that kind of regular HTML stuff. Oh my god, I got made regular CSS stuff is better than that. That's what I'm trying to say. Wow. Okay, and then we're gonna animate to the following. So I lost myself. Animate to this. So object, bam. Okay. Next thing you know, I want to do this one slightly different. I want to do a duration of 1. So you can really feel free to play around with it as you wish, whatever you want to do. But the point is that when I hit save and when I hit refresh, wait for it, bam. That's lovely. Right, that's really nice. Let's actually do 1.5. It's kind of jarring me a bit. 1.5, hit save, refresh, and there you go. Oh, look at that, guys. Look at that. Like, come on. We're going to take that same principle and eventually have this living and breathing circle effect and all this cool stuff on our page, right? So amazing stuff. Cool to see. The likes are flying. You guys are enjoying this right now, I can tell. Okay, so that is actually the header done, right? The header's actually done. So at this point, we're going to go back into our index and we're going to get rid of this comment because now done with the header. Awesome stuff. Daniel James with a £5 donation. Great work, Sonny. I love your data layer explanation about Redux. That's brilliant. I just landed a job at Deloitte Digital and you were a big help. Dude, firstly, massive congrats. Deloitte, amazing company. Daniel James, everyone, clap that dude, man. Thank you, Jay. Screenshot that and thank you for your donation. I appreciate you, brother, and I'm glad the Papa Fam could help you achieve that goal. That is amazing, dude. Wow, this is the energy of the Papa Fam, guys. Like, it's honestly just, we're all about helping each other here. That's it. Right? It's just free content to help you guys grow, become a better developer. That is it. Make sure you actually for the life of me, because you will burn out. I promise you. It happens to me many. All right, so at this point, we're going to go to the next section. So the next section is a hero banner. This is incredible stuff, guys. Honestly, you guys are, I just can't believe you're as much fun. Okay, so what we're going to now do is we're going to have sections, right? So a section is an SEO-friendly way of saying, basically telling any SEO thing that is a section of your page, right? So in this case, I'm going to say section. Now here, this section is going to have an ID. He goes, thanks guys, bricking myself with the project. Dude, it's normal, it happens. If you do want to go ahead and have mentorship in the community, if you ever get stuck, that kind of stuff, feel free to come over to Road to Full Stack Hero. We've got loads of people just like you who are working at big companies, awesome stuff. We help each other out. But yeah, that's amazing. Right, so at this point, we've got the ID of here, okay? This is going to allow us to actually scroll back to that at some point later. And I'm going to teach you how to have this amazing scroll behavior. So you see how it snaps. So I'm not like, say if I scroll there and I let go, it's going to snap to the most closest place. So if I go far enough, there you go. So that way we get this kind of nice snappy behavior inside of our webpage. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to create a hero component. Okay. So oops, no, not that.
Hello there.
Okay. Hero.
Oh, hello there.
Now, the hero component, let's go ahead and jump into that. So I'm going to go ahead and create a hero.tsx, like so. Close that down. I'm going to do typescript RFCE. There you go. And we've got the hero component like so. Now, inside this hero component, this is essentially going to represent this. Right, so we're going to have the background circles, the picture, all of this good stuff is going to be coming from that right now, okay? I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. So let's firstly import this. So we go here and like so. And now you can see we've got hero. Lovely. It always throw me off that one. It's incredible. 20 likes away from 700, guys. Just keep smashing that like. Thank you so much. All right, at this point, we've got the hero going as well. And I'm going to go ahead and start building this. So let's get into a nice focus. This is my kind of vibe. Right. So we're actually going to be using a typewriter library to go ahead and have that awesome kind of, typing effect. Now, the one that I'm going to use is something called React Simple Typewriter. Very easy, very cool. you can do that yourself. React Simple Typewriter, a very nice library. And for those of you wondering, why don't you build this stuff yourself? Because you don't have to. That's honestly the straight up thing. You don't have to build everything from scratch. Yes, some libraries are heavier than others, so when you go to production, it's worth just checking. Okay? Amazing stuff. Another $5 donation. Appreciate you. I watched way too much Haiku. Thank you. That's his name. He goes, follow up you a month ago, work side by side doing your project and learn so much. Thank you for the great content. Thank you, dude, so much for that donation. I appreciate you, bro. Nazmo says best tune in the world. Again,
that's amazing.
We're going to install this like so, Command J, and we're going to pop that in just like that, right? So everything's looking pretty good so far, and we're 5 likes away from 700. God damn it, guys. I mean, just watching it, it seems like it's lose my mind. Alright, 700 likes, go for it. I can see it. Someone's punching it. Someone click that button. Alright, so at this point we're installing it, and then I'm going to show you how to pop it into our app. So I'm going to import 2 things, and there's loads of ways to actually implement this exact library. There's a few different ways you can do it. Oh wow, it just it popped up. 705, that's it. Oh man, 1,000 likes, let's go. God damn, I know someone's going to say it, and they're going to be like, what the hell is he going crazy for? But I'm telling you, it's nuts. It's crazy. Like, I can't believe there's that many people just like going nuts over this video. Alright, let's go ahead and hit save, and we're going to implement it like so. Okay, so first thing I want to do is we actually need to use something called a use typewriter. Okay, so in this case we've got something like this. We've got text, and I've got this from their documentation, okay? And it's use typewriter, and what we do is we pass in an object, and inside of here we've got something called words. And the words, you see, it can be developer, designer, creator, that kind of stuff. In our case, I've got a kind of cool geeky kind of vibe going on. I've got something like this, right? I've got a guy who loves coffee, and loves to cook more. And then the first one I'm going to say is something like, hi, my name is Sunny. Hi, my name is, the name's Sunny, right? The name's Sunny. And we're eventually going to make that dynamic as well. So put it, right? So that can feel free to do whatever you want to do there. Right? The next thing I want to do is I'm going to pop in a loop. Okay, so loop, and I'm going to say, yeah, it should loop through. I want it to keep going through and through. And I want it to stay on it for like a little bit. So 2,000 milliseconds is about enough time. Right? So delay speed. Delay speed of 2,000 milliseconds. Okay, that's why I like that. Okay, so we've got our div there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to first go ahead, and we're going to implement that in just a second as well. Right? I'm not going to just chuck that in just yet, but I'll show you how that works effectively. It's actually fairly straightforward and easy to go ahead and put in. So if I had like a p tag here, and I just pop in that text now, you will literally see that text being rendered out. So you'll see this go ahead and get thrown on the screen. So if I go back to my code now, you see that guy who loves coffee, TSX, and just like that it works, right? And even nicer than that, you can next to it have a cursor, and you can put a color on it, and you see how the cursor's next to it, right? I'm going to show you right now, actually. I might as well do this. Yeah. I'm going to change this to a span tag, okay? And then I'm actually going to have this whole thing surrounded inside of H1, which is kind of important field. It could be H1, H2, depends on you. And you see how now it's next to it. So it kind of looks like a typewriter typing, right? So we're spanning a field and put the cursor next to it, okay? So, without further ado, let's jump in further. We've got our, let's go ahead and create the background circles, okay? But before we do any of this, I actually want to get the background looking the right color, because it's kind of jarring right now, looking at the wrong color, and I don't know what I'm staring at properly, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. Right, so, firstly, I've got the background color saved in the RGB format, and I'm going to show you how we can add that. So you guys can feel free to do it yourself in whatever color you wish. I've got a nice kind of tonal gray. So here, inside of the page, I'm going to do class name. I'm going to say BG RGB 363636. And as you can see now, it's gone ahead and actually made it this nice gray. But I'm going to actually go ahead and also say that the text should be white. So every bit of text is a master rule, should be white. And I'm also going to say that it should have a height of the screen. Oops, sorry, space that out, height of screen. Okay, hit save, and there you go. That's a lot nicer already. Okay, so really, really cool stuff so far. I think it's one of my funnest streams. It's really amazing. So you can see right now we're slowly getting there. We're slowly forming, right? So now we're gonna build this amazing bit right here, right? And look at, if you noticed, it's breathing, it's posing, and there's like a little post here, right? Really, really cool. Hey says, I gotta go. You earn my sub, so I'll be rewatching this when it's uploaded. Thank you so much, dude, for tuning in. That's what the energy is about. Papa Family is here to stay. Right? So let's go into our hero, back to our hero, and let's carry on with the hero. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and background circles. I know somebody says Jay's only here to screenshot stuff. No, Jay is actually killing it, and he's doing a lot more than that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and implement something called a background circles. This is gonna be a component, right? And I'm gonna show you this because it's quite a little bit of work involved in this, right? So we're gonna have background circles like this. I'm gonna go ahead and pop in the components.tsx, create the file RFCE. TypeScript RFCE. So I do that, TypeScript RFCE. Cool. And then the background circles, we're going to go ahead and make it look really nice. Now, obviously, this is going to be an animated thing, so we're going to have frame of motion inside of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and actually have 5 divs that represent each of the different circles. Each of these divs aren't going to exist, so I'm going to show you a little trick. You can do a Command D. Oh no, actually, you know what? Let's just do that again. Let's do 5. While we got the cursors, I'm going to go ahead and click option, click, and then I'm going to get rid of those. Like a div, what's that? Self-closing div. I'm going to show you a little trick right now, okay? So firstly, I want to go ahead and pull this in. So background circle, just import it so I can see something happening. And here it's freaking out because we haven't got anything. There we go. And I'm going to show you how you can actually have a div represent an object. Okay, so it's kind of cool when you want to draw something on the screen. You can go ahead and customize it out as you need to do so, right? 700 likes, literally nearly 800. Let's go, guys. Honestly, incredible stuff. Okay, so nice. Einstein says, I'm sharing the link to my classmates. Thank you, dude. That's what we're doing. That's awesome, man. Here we got class name. I'm going to start off with this. Okay, so this is going to be we're going to give it a border, and I want to give this one a gray border. It's a very subtle gray. But in fact, before we do this gray, I'm actually going to go ahead and say it's just like a red, so you should be able to see it, right? So there we go. We got a red border. Then I'm going to say it's a rounded 4. So it's a circle border. But right now you're like, no, it's not. It's not a circle border. Well, that's because you haven't got a height and width around it, right? So I'm going to give it a set height and width of 200 pixels. Now notice the square brackets. That's something called the just-in-time compiler. By putting a square bracket in, you're telling Tailwind only use a custom value, and at runtime it builds that utility class and gives it to us. So there you go. We've got a nice little circle, right? Then I'm going to go ahead and say margin top at the top should be 52, and I want to animate this one. So animate, and it should be a ping. So now we've got this beautiful animated circle. Really nice. And what I'm now going to do is now that you can see the color, I'm going to change it back to the color I wanted. And I'm going to show you how we're going to eventually get the desired effect. So bam, we've got this nice little gray.
Hello there.
And this is ping. Yes, that's fine. And what I'm going to do is a surrounding div, I'm going to give this a class name, and this is going to be a relative container. Now the reason why this is relative, guys, is because I'm going to do a bit of sorcery, right, a bit of wizardry to go ahead and get them centered, right? So you can do it however you want. This is the way I'm going to do it. So justify center. So now we've centered the element. I'm also going to do item centered to go ahead and centralize that as well. Now, here what I'm going to do is make this actually be absolutely positioned. So absolute positioning, and that way it goes to the top, right? And eventually we're going to push it down ourselves, right? But it's only absolutely positioned relative to the parent, hence why we have the relative, right? So at this point you could have left it, you could do whatever you want really, right? But I'm going to show you my way of doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for 2 more circles, but notice how the height and width change on these 2 circles. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those, and now you can see I've got 2 more circles, exact same code, except the height and width change. And both of them have got margin 52 at the top, okay? So we're looking kind of nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, but except this time, I'm going to slightly change it, right? I'm going to have all of the same properties. So I'm going to have the border up to this point, the same properties. I'm going to change the color, and I'm going to do a opacity of 20 as well, okay? So border is going to be a nice kind of, the Papa Fam kind of, arc, the color we like, right? The kind of the Papa Fam color. And then I'm going to give it a height of 650, width of 650, absolutely positioned, margin top. I'm going to make this one post, right? So it's going to be
that's amazing.
Okay. Now you can see it's posting, right? So it looks pretty good. And then the final one is going to be as follows. Now, I do want to show you, if you did get rid of absolute, you see what happens. If you get rid of absolute, they're going to be kind of like stacked next to each other, squashed up. Whereas if I absolutely position, they're kind of layered up, right? So at this point, the final one is going to be the same as the previous normal circles, except they're going to be 800 pixels. Okay, 800 pixels. Now, okay, looking pretty good. All right, so if we were to refresh this, it looks good. It's definitely not at this level yet, where we've got this amazing grow effect going on. But I will show you how to do that. Okay. So at this point, what I now need you to do is go back to Hero. Okay. So head over back to Hero, and I want you to go ahead and change the div, the surrounding div's properties. So this one is going to be a height of screen. This hero. Okay. Height of screen is going to be a flex column. So everything's going to be stacked up in column fashion. We're going to do space between the Y components of 8. The items should be in the center. Okay. Hit save. And I'm going to say justify center as well. And as you can see, it pushed it down. Right. Then I'm going to go ahead and say, we're going to say the text should be central. Text should be central, and the overflow should be hidden. Like so. Okay. And as you can see, we've got a very different looking situation right now. That's because I haven't actually done something correctly. So let me go back to my index. Oh yeah, so I need to figure out some more index things over there. So index, there we go. Now, back at index, I need to do a few little changes to over on this side, right? So first thing I want to do is I'm going to make the snappable. So as we scroll through, it's going to be snappable containers, right? So what I want to do here is I think okay. So first thing I want to do is I want to go here and I'm going to type in the following. I'm going to say snap on the y-axis. Okay? And I want the snap to be mandatory. Okay? I think you missed a dash on the first div border color. Let me just double check that. First div border color. Yes, my friend, you are correct. Thank you. Border color. There you go. Good stuff. Right? And then let's go back here and snap. And it's going to be mandatory. So you can make it proximity, which means that as you get near to that, it's going to be right? The overflow, I'm going to say is scroll. Okay, so that way it's going to be scrollable. Okay, so you see how it's scrollable right now, right? And then we're going to have, I'm going to customize the scroll bar later. And this is going to have a Z of 0. And that's because we're going to have some text layered up on top of it afterwards. Okay. Now, the first thing I also want to do is I think I need to change my header. That's fine. Yep, that's fine. Let's go to our hero. Sorry, when I code so many different things, it kind of gets overlapping and I have to kind of re-remember what happened. Right? Okay, that's it. Yeah. So let's go back into our hero right now. Yeah, I know why it's happening. Okay, so here, next step is we need to go ahead and center this one. So class name here, I'm going to say snap center. Right? Now notice how it snaps to the center now. You see when I try and scroll, it's snapping to the center. So if I refresh, it's going to snap to the center. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Right, so it's snapping to the center. So notice how no matter where I am, it's got this like elastic effect. Right, so even there, it's not at the top. It snaps down to the center. Okay, so let's check this out. Oh, nearly 800 likes. Let's go, guys. I love the focus. This is so cool. Feels like a radar. Yeah, no, it feels like a radar, right? It's really nice. All right, let's add in the really cool bit, which is the animations. So let's go into our motion. So this div right here, I want to make it a motion div. Okay, but by the way, the key there to making the snap work is you set the parent as snap y, snap mandatory, and you set everything at height screen. That's because I want it to literally be snapping at a height sort of setting, right? So everything's at a height value. Here I'm snapping depending on how big these are. Right? And then your child will be snapping, so you can say snap center or snap sort of front and that kind of stuff, right? So that's how we've done that. So at this point, the hero, let's go ahead and get this animation going pretty well. So this inside of background circles, let's go into background circles, and I'm going to change this to a motion div right here. So motion.div, like so. Okay. Now on this bit, I'm going to go ahead and type the initial is going to be a value of opacity 0. So I want it to be like kind of like unseeable in the beginning, right? So you can't see that in the beginning. So there we go. We've got an initial value of 0. So it's gone, right? So what should we animate to? Well, in fact, I'm not going to use the animate. I'm going to use a no, I'm going to use animate. Sorry, I'm doing that later. So animate. I'm I'm actually going to go ahead and say this. So this is what's pretty cool, right? If you can either have one value, so animate from 0 to 1, or you can pass in an array. And what it does is it will go ahead and based on the transition time, so if I say 2.5 seconds, I can pass in an array of 5 things, and it's going to give every single one a fifth of the time to basically keyframe through the animation. So I'll show you what I mean, right? So if I put scale here, and I gave it a 1, I'm going to do 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, right? So now it's going to basically divide up the time of the animation. So if, in this case, if I said transition, and I passed in here a duration of 2.5 seconds, 2.5 seconds, every single one's going to get like a 0.5 of a second of an animation. So if I hit save now, we can't see it yet, so I need to do the opacity. Let's go ahead and do the opacity. And I've also used the work now something looks sort of funky here. It kind of like flickers in. I said that 0.1, 2, 4, 8, 0.1, so it kind of flickers out. So watch what happens. Right? See how it kind of posts its way in, because it went 0.1, 0.2, so forth, and then it kind of came back to life. What did I do here? I can't mess it up. Okay, so I've actually messed something over here. There we go. Strange. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. So there we go. We got the scale effect. You see how it's scaling in, and then it's doing the opacity. And the final one I want to do is change the border radius. Right? So border radius, we're going to give it a different value as well. Now check this out, guys. Boom, boom, comes in. Now if I go ahead and refresh, like just look how clean that is, guys. Like that is amazing, right? It looks so slick. Beautiful, right? Really clean animation. Oh, there we go. Let me keep that up. So at that point, it looks really nice. Okay, so we got our background circles in check, pretty much. So I'm gonna go ahead now and go back to my core, and let's finish off the rest of the work. Okay, so underneath the background circle, I'm going to have an image. Now for this image, right now I'm just going to do a hard value. Now, yes. Before you say anything, if you're using Next.js, you should